in this setup, which is kind of nuts. You know, 500k. Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I pulled myself the big boy. The guy with a massive, massive sword. I pulled myself a Turvold during this week. And I was like, I really want to do something funky with him in Clan Boss. You know, I feel like his best spot is Clan Boss. He can come and play in other areas of the game. He can smack up stuff in PvP. He can smack up the Hydra. But for me, the best spot is Clan Boss. And I wanted to show something pretty cool. So I was looking at different speed tunes. I could have done an unkillable with a Demither. And I was like, well, that feels like it's been done a ton of times. I could have done like a standard 1-for-1 comp where he's running super slow, which means you can take his stats through the roof and do like silly hits. But the overall kind of team comp is kind of, you know, one key territory, but not anything massive. And then I was like, you know what he could do? He could just jump straight into my Clan Boss team that I currently run, where I've been running. Basically, it's the world record team. I've been running Corpulent Cadaver the Rare, coming in, doing all of his work because of his crazy A1, which scales damage with the shield. Now, I run this day in, day out. It's an easy one key and some on any Clan Boss level, but it's quite slow to get to that one key. So I think, you know what? I'm going to throw him in, Turvold in instead of my damage dealer Corpulent Cadaver. And it also means that I don't need Hellborn Sprite anymore, who was bringing me a weak source weaken with my buff extender. So I figured I'd try, because I've not built one out yet on this account, Demither in that spot. Demither will give me another buff alongside my Turvold. The more buffs Turvold gets, the more damage he does with his hits. So we've got a team of, it's a beastly team. Krisk coming in a Guardian set, running at 289 speed. He's there as just like a straight up tank, tanking stats. He's not even got War Masters. Like, it's a pretty unique build for a Krisk. I don't know if I need this build, honestly, now that I'm not running Corpulent Cadaver, because I'm trying to get more damage away over time. But I'm going to leave it for now and see how it runs. We've then got Turvold built to smack. He's got War Master. Some people running with Helm Smasher. I think War Master is better. I'm going to turn off his A2 because I get all of these buffs from other people in my team. But I still only need 70% crit rate. So I'm running at 6.4k attack, 281 crit damage. I do want his accuracy because I actually want him to land the big source weaken. Yeah, he's coming in there to do that job. We've then got ourselves a Brogni, who is going to be my shield extender. He's also probably the most important person in this team, because without the shield extension, this team just falls flat on its face. And he has to hit hard, like really hard. He's definitely better in a reflex set because you want to get back round to his skill as soon as you can. You actually don't even use his A3. You use it once as an opener and then you turn it off. And you just want him to A2 as often as you can. If I had more refresh accessories, I would put more on. I actually need more for this to be a better build. Brogni is like the nuts and bolts of this build. Yeah, without Brogni, you know, the stronger your Brogni, the better this does. Simple as that. I've got him with War Master, which is unusual for a Brogni, straight up because it does more potential damage on that A2 hit, which is what I need him to do. We've got also Lanicus in here as another person who extends our buffs on. The whole point of this team is like infinite buffs. Yeah, infinite buffs so that you scale your shield as much as you can. She's got refresh accessories on. She's got reflex gear. She is kind of crit capped, but she's mainly in there for buff extension. And then Demither is also in there for buff extension and additional buffs. So I'm hoping that we end up doing some pretty funky numbers. We'll see. Literally, this is going to be my first run. We're already on Spirit Affinity, so I can't do much about that. And this is the setup then. So I'm mirroring the setup of my previous team. Basically, we use Krisk's A3 and then turn it off. He's at 289 speed. He's got enough accuracy to land his stuff. Demither, I'm going to prioritize her to use a buff extension. I do want her to use her other ability as well, though. Turvold, turn off his A2 completely. Basically want him to juggernaut as often as he can. If I had good refresh accessories and good enough reflex gear, I would also be using that on him. My gear's not good enough to do it, unfortunately, because he would just be A3 and like an absolute ridiculous crazy fella, but my gear is just not strong enough. 201 speed here. You saw the stats earlier. Brogni, we open with his A3, then turn it off. 186 speed here. And then Lanakis, we open with our A3 and turn it off. 272 speed here. So let's get this bad boy rolling. Okay then, we can start an auto. We can just let it run. It will smash up any affinity, any level of clan boss, or certainly my old team did. It absolutely smashed it up. So I'm hoping that this team will do the same. It's going to take me a little while to get all of the buffs on with this team because Demith is going to be applying continuous heals in my gaps, basically. And you see we've got the crit rate up, the speed up, the increased attack up already. And then everyone else is basically starting to just extend these buffs on. Now, I don't have Turvold at the minute with a additional shield. You see Krisk's got 2 shields that's been extended. I don't have that on him. I don't know if I need it or not. I didn't need it in the previous setup, but perhaps he's going to be a bit squishier, a bit easier to kill. We will see. What I'll do is I'm going to fast forward it until the point where we've got maximum buffage and we've already kind of stacked up some of his damage. And we'll see. He's already hitting for 400k before he's even got going. Let's see how he's doing a little bit later on in the video. Well, we've basically hit the 1 key in 11 minutes. He's chalking up some pretty nutty damage, honestly. I mean, 180 odd Ks with his A1s. He's basically doing about 450 odd K per hit with his A3 in this setup, which is kind of nuts. You know, 500k, smacks it in. I don't know how long this is going to last. It's a pretty crazy team. Obviously, the previous copy of it was anyway, but a bit more fun having Turvold in and definitely a faster way to get myself to 1 key in it. With the unkillable coming in here and there as well, or the block damage, certainly early on, it is building up the shield quicker than it used to. So I don't know if it's a bit of an interesting alternative to, you know, what we've seen with Corpulent Cadaver and that, but definitely a cool one. I'm going to play it right through to the end and see what sort of damage we get out. 400k on the smacks coming through. I'm just going to leave this here for a second. 270 million damage. Damn, there's a nice little team going on there. Turvold swinging and hitting for 138 million damage. The dude's insane. Over half of the damage done by Turvold. Underpriest Brogni coming in with a cool 80 mil. Underpriest Brogni soloed the clan boss with his damage by himself. There you go, guys. There's a fun one. I will link the comp down below if anyone wants to play around with it or try and like sub in their own champions in the mix. But I had to put him in a special team. And damn, we did. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.